I never posted the one video. I was talking about getting different gloves and getting a different helmet. The first helmet I bought it because it felt comfortable, and by felt comfortable, it was too big. So whenever I would like turn my head like this, the wind would take the helmet and just kind of like shove it to the side. There's a lot of wind noise because all the air is coming up all around it. I went ahead and bought another one. This one, it's great. It fits really snug. I can move my head around and the wind doesn't push it at all. And then in that same video, I was also talking about getting new gloves. The gloves that I bought, the first ones I bought were like cheap $10 gloves. And I don't know what they were made of, but yeah, they were pretty shitty, bottom line. I didn't like the way they felt. So when I went to go buy my daughter some gear, so she could go riding with me, it's a little windy out, I picked up dirt bike gloves because I figured, oh well, you know, they're nice and soft and they'll be good to go. And then months down the road, like up until about 3 weeks ago when I bought this helmet, I started thinking, you know, if I eat shit on this bike, yeah, that's not going to be good at all. What's up, dude? So instead of getting road rash all over my hands, I decided to invest some money and get a decent pair of gloves. And I went ahead and bought these Alpine Stars. I like Alpine Star. So yeah, these are a lot better. They're a lot more comfortable, and I can actually hold on to the throttle and not have my hand get so sore. So I never understood or realized that actually having a pair of sport bike gloves, or gloves that match what you're going to be riding, actually plays a role in it, and comfort a little bit. So another thing I like about this helmet, on my other one I had to buy this anti-fog spray I put on there, and it put this really thick film all over my visor. And I use it on the clear one mostly because, you know, the clear one, it's colder at night, so it'd fog out more. But it was bad enough where it was almost like a perma fog that was placed on my lens because of this stuff. So I'm really glad that this helmet has a no fog visor. And that doesn't mean it doesn't fog up. Like if I breathe heavy right now or right on the visor, it's gonna fog up, you know. It's just condensation, period. It is what it is, but it doesn't persist, which is nice. Especially as the weather gets colder, you know, you exhale just a little bit and the whole thing just fogs up. So it being able to go away pretty quickly helps a lot. But I'm liking this new helmet. And, you know, you also have the cool factor. Bottom line, you know you're not going to buy the gear and you're not going to want to wear it if it doesn't look badass. This helmet looks pretty awesome. So, yeah, maybe I'll get behind a car and be able to see it in the rear view or something like that. Or in the reflection. I don't know. We'll see. I got asked earlier, you know, best things to do for like potholes, manholes, gravel, stuff like that you encounter on the road. One thing I do is I tend to ride in another car's wheel track. So where their wheels go, usually I go. For the most part, drivers and they avoid stuff on the road. So if you see a guy swerve out of the way or lean to one side of the road, there's a safe bet that there's something there, which gives you enough reaction time to move as well. But if they hit something and you see it, there's two things you can do. If it's something like a manhole, you don't want to hit that because there's a good chance your wheel goes into it and your bike goes ass over end. And I could pretty much assume that would be a terrible day. But you use hard counter steering to get out of the way. And what I mean by that is, in one of my other videos, I talked about turning, how you initiate turn by using counter steer. It's the same thing, except you don't lean your body with it. You keep your body upright, and you push pretty hard. Then you push the other way to get out of the way again. So let's say like something's coming up the road, like boom, right now. You push, and then you push again. Push, and push again. Just keep your body straight, and the bike will go out of the way. The people behind me are probably like, oh my fucking god, what's he doing? He's dodging shit. Yeah. That's one thing you can do. If you are going to hit something and there's no way to avoid it, what you want to do is you want to lower the weight on the front forks and distribute it as you go over it. So before you hit, let's say this thing is right here, you'll accelerate and then decelerate. What that does is it gets the weight off the front forks, lifts it up so that you don't hit it so hard, and then you let off the throttle again so that the wheel goes back on the front forks and the rear wheel doesn't hit so hard. Yeah, so it's just a quick blip as you go over it so that the effect isn't so bad on your bike. But going back to the pothole, manhole, gravel, things like that. So for each of those, you know, potholes is a situation where it becomes more preventive than reactive. If you don't know the route, I would watch where other people are driving and then follow in their tracks. If you do know the route, you usually know where they are, so avoid them as much as possible. But if it's too big, avoid it, like I said, with hard counter steer. And counter steer is one of these things, well, people are afraid they're going to push too hard. The professionals have had grips like snap from pushing so hard to counter steer. So for the most part, unless you just take it and you just slam on it, you know, jerk and slam, you're not going to make the bike, you know, fly over and high side. You could put a lot of weight and a lot of pressure onto a counter steer. So don't be too concerned about that. If you are, just practice it, you know. You can figure out that nice little zone or tolerance that you can do with counter steering. With manholes, avoid those as much as possible. And usually, for the most part, they have cones in front of them. So if you're unfamiliar with it, just drive slow. There's no reason to get yourself injured or anybody else injured. And then gravel. Gravel's a big one, especially when it comes to turns. If you're going into a turn, you see gravel, just go into the turn really slowly. Gravel is one of those things where even if the whole road is gravel and you're going down at 5 miles an hour, it just takes one little slip of the tire and, you know, you could be flying off. If you're in a turn and you see gravel, it's my suggestion that you attempt to straighten yourself up and apply the brakes. If you hit the gravel and your front brake like locks up, release the brake quickly and get back on it again gradually. If you are holding the front brake and the front tire turns into a slide and you keep holding it, there's a good chance you're going to high side the bike because it's going to catch and flip that bike over. When it comes to the rear brake, if the rear brake locks up, just hold it. Hold it all the way in, because if you don't, then you release it, the rear tire is going to catch and also flip the bike over, high side you. So back there, with that eclipse cutting me off, I locked up my rear brake. I could feel it fish sliding, and I just held it until I straightened up and slowed back down. There's an example of that. Recognizing the road conditions. So we got construction, you got a soft shoulder over here, there might be loose gravel around, especially if we got trucks entering and exiting the road, taking all that gravel and stuff with them. So I'll be sticking closer to the middle of the road if there is gravel. So yeah, taking off from gravel, like right there, I use the friction zone a lot, so I don't put too much torque on the rear tire and spin it and like throw rocks and shit all over people's cars.